Hello!
Hello.
Hello, everybody!
How's everybody doing today?
I'm good.
I'm not.
You're
I
good.
feel like crap.
You're good. You're gonna make it through.
I'll struggle bus.
We talked about it off air, but Richie's a little under the weather today, and it's raining, so it's kind of poopy here in southeastern Michigan. But we're gonna get through this podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. For those of you watching now on Twitch, thank you for coming and watching. Also, for those of you in the future who are watching us on YouTube, appreciate that too.
Hello.
So this weekend, Richie, I had a wedding and you had C-Bus, which is short for Columbus. Still don't know why the fuck you call it that. It makes me really...
Because you take out the middle letters and you have C-Bus.
Yeah, but you don't need to shorten it.
Why not?
Because it's unnecessary. It's Columbus.
But it's also C-Bus.
It's like saying... It'd be like saying, God, what is that? Louisville in Kentucky?
Louisville.
Is Louisville.
That's actually how it's pronounced. It's Louisville.
Nope. It's Louisville. Fight me.
Get out. Go back to bed.
So I was at a wedding this weekend, and I had a blast. Of course, I was there with family. My wife was the only one that couldn't make it. She was at a bachelorette party up north in Middle Michigan, I guess. And they were hanging out, going to the beach, playing ouch ouch you're on my hair with some strippers probably, and probably some great times. She said she had a good time, and I believe her.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I believe her.
Did you have a good time at the wedding?
I did. I danced my ass off. My legs hurt really bad when I woke up the next morning. Not just because of the alcohol, because I danced so much.
Call you Happy Feet?
You could, yeah. I took so many videos. So many videos. I don't know why I saved them all. I do, because I was intoxicated. That's why I saved all those videos.
That's what happens.
Yeah, you're just, when you're having a great time, you're like, I got to record this.
Everybody's going to want to see this.
Everybody's going to want to see this. And then when you wake up the next morning and you watch like 2 of the videos, you're like, why the fuck did I save these videos? No, it's just me doing the same thing. It's me recording people dancing. And then I turn the camera at myself and I'm like, yeah, I'm yelling and I'm having a great time. And Warren Party of One, your dance floor's ready. Yeah, so for those of you on SoundCloud, you won't be able to see this beautiful, sexy man body, but I do have some pictures. Yeah, me and my brother-in-law, we had to share a bed. That's what happens when you're in Findlay, Ohio.
Oh, you were in Findlay. Okay.
Yes, I was in Findlay, Ohio.
Okay. Yeah, there's not a lot going on there.
There's not. It was the Findlay Inn, and that was the nicest place that you could stay. So.
Was it better or worse than the hotel we stayed at in Philly?
Same.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very similar to a Days Inn, but yeah. It was kind of small in there, I tried to put a pillow in between us here, but I think he ripped the pillow out and started cuddling me.
It looks like, he had to. It looks like you're taking up 70% of that bed.
Yeah, he's on his side. He's just a cute little thing. But yeah, we were hoping some others could be there, like the Blaz.
If I would have gotten invited, I maybe could have been there.
Yeah, the Blairs weren't there. We were missing them. We were sending them pictures, so hope to see them next time. But yeah, I got some other pictures here. This is me and my sister-in-law. She looks good. I just look like a bald fat man. But I dressed up. That's the mother of the bride and groom. That's my brother-in-law flipping me off. That's usually about 70% of his pictures.
It's just there it is.
Yeah, that's us at the bar.
So something I want to talk about is in that picture. You mentioned the drink to me before when we were in the casino, but explain to our audience that drink that you guys created.
Oh yeah. So it's raspberry stoli, which is a vodka, and then you add a little bit of you add water to it, and then a splash of crayon, and then you add about a quarter sugar-free Red Bull. And everybody that tastes it, they say, that's refreshing. It is, you know?
I still need to try it.
Yeah, oh, it's fabulous. They taste better when you make them doubles.
Mm-hmm.
Not really, I'm just joking.
Just load it up.
Yeah. So the memory jar, I drew a little penis, and then the guy next to me drew a Donald Trump heart.
Nice.
Can you see the Donald now?
I can, yeah.
Yeah, he was just so excited. And yeah, so we had a really good time. Dance flooring it up. The bride and groom, they were great. You know, they had a lot of heartfelt, speeches. And
did you give a speech?
I wish I would have gave a speech, but I talked to them afterwards, and told them I was proud of them. They're young. They're 22, 23, so your age. And then of course my father-in-law, he found the Facebook app where you could turn yourself into a female. One of my favorites for you that Stefan sent me, that I showed last week on the podcast. So please go check that out on the YouTube. But yeah, he looks just like his niece. That's his niece right there. Jeez, don't they look like twins? Kind of.
Well, I wouldn't say that your niece has a mustache.
Minus the mustache.
A little rude.
Minus the mustache. All right, so that's it. That was me and the fam this weekend.
Got the Men in Black look going on here.
Yeah, I try to wear those
shades.
I try to wear those shades. My sunglasses at night.
Gotta hide from them haters.
I do. I gotta hide from the haters. But yeah. So how did Columbus go for you? You had a good time, right?
Yeah, it was a good time. I went with Brian Carey, Jacob Hard, and Donovan Abraham. It was a good time. We had some good food. I normally I stay at a hotel about 15ish minutes from inside Columbus, and it's super nice hotel. I know the restaurants I go to every time.
Yeah.
But that hotel was booked out when I looked, so I ended up staying where Brian and them normally stay at the Red Roof Inn.
Brian Carey.
Brian Carey.
Yep.
It's
Mr. Pro himself.
Mm-hmm.
Good man.
No, that's Nick now.
Oh, Nick. Okay.
But yeah, so we stayed there. It was actually pretty nice being like legit across the street from the convention center. But yeah, the drive was good. A lot of jokes, a lot of enjoying ourselves. Magic could have gone better, but I think I played a deck that I didn't have quite enough time on.
Okay.
And the Classic would have went okay, but I wanted to try to play for a little extra and ended up getting burnt literally in the end. So
I was bummed that you didn't do well at Columbus, but when you told me that you lost a burn basically all weekend, I was really happy for you. Because I like hearing Burn do well. It makes me happy.
I still think Phoenix is probably, or the Prowess decks are in better position, but
yeah, I think so too. I think you might be right. So hold on to your shorts for this episode, by the way, because Richie, what did you see there that did really well?
The GAC came back the very next day.
Yeah, so Hogaak. Hogaak. I don't want to say, if I say it.
Hogaak style.
So
is it like Beetlejuice, where if you say it 3 times,
he's gonna show up in the room. He's gonna delve right into our faces right now. But yeah, if you guys want to play along, if you want to play a drinking game for each time that you hear the word Hogaak during this podcast, you better drink.
Dead.
Yeah, you would probably die. But maybe just take a sip of something.
They still might die.
Because the GAC is what does Chris say?
I pay Monopoly play money for that album.
The GAC.
I pay Monopoly.
Well, thank you, Chris, for coming by.
For that album.
Yeah. So, speaking of Chris, we'll have a little. We'll let you guys know about that at the end of the podcast here.
It's not a secret.
No, it's definitely secret. We've got a special guest next week.
Our first guest, right?
Our first guest, yeah, and it's episode 9. It's gonna be great.
Fitting first guest too.
Yeah, it's not a bad first guest.
I guested for him one time. Now he has to guest for me. Look at the tables have turned.
Yeah. Okay, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna start off with the fun fact.
I mean, we're already on momsbasementgames.tcgplayerpro.com, so maybe we should start off there.
No, you just said it. Okay, so the fun fact today, Richie, hit him with it.
Yeah, so this fun fact is actually a two-carder. There's 2 cards in Magic that came out in the set and had the same exact card name as that set. And those cards are Conflux and Hour of Devastation. One of which is more playable than the other one.
Dude, you could cast Conflux in Commander. What does this card even fucking do?
Read it.
Alright, search your library for a white card. Okay, I'm out.
Did you look at the...
Oh, wait. Oh, a blue card, a black card. Oh, you get a red card too? Oh, God. You get one of every card.
Yeah.
Reveal those cards and then put them into your hand. Ooh.
But look at its converted mana cost.
3, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's easy. I could cast that.
Wooburg?
Wooburg +3?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a super tutor.
That's almost Progenitus.
Yeah. You can and you only get to put them in your hand. You can't cast them or anything either. That's the fucking worst. And then Hour of Devastation, of course. Oh. This card's a real shitter,
Cool
too.
Fizz did tell us we can get multicolor cards off it.
Oh, what's up, Cool Fizz? Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know if that makes it any more playable. But...
I don't think that makes it... I don't know. It's Commander. If, like, you cast that off like an Omniscience...
You can just win the game with that mana, though.
Probably.
You can win the game with half that mana.
Probably, yeah. It's Commander. So Hour of Devastation is a real shitter, too. So all creatures lose indestructible until end of turn. 5 damage to each creature, and it's a fucking 5-drop.
That card's good. I've seen that card see, like, modern play sometimes. Yeah. I've seen it out of, like, Titan Shift sideboard when, like, blue-white was really popular.
Does the indestructible matter?
Well, no. You kill their Jace and their Teferi.
Oh, non-bolus planeswalkers, too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's like a 3, 4, 5 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking to myself, like, oh, maybe I could cast this while I have a, what's that new sliver that does damage?
I know what one you're talking about, the Boros Reckoner sliver.
Yeah, Boros Reckoner sliver.
I
thought that might be it.
They also can cast this on, like, turn 3, though, in that deck. Because they ramp so hard, motherfuckers want to find them.
Mm-hmm.
That shit cray.
That shit is cray. All right, so let's see if we actually... This is, like, my new favorite game, to see if we have them in stock. And
I bet we do.
I like doing it during, too.
Oh, we have Hour of Devastations.
Oh, I don't even have to click on it. It just...
I think that's how it works. I don't know. We have 4.
We have 4 Hour of Devastations in stock.
For a play set in your Titan Shift deck.
All right, and what was the other one? Conflux. Yeah, so I told Richie, I said, Richie, check the card Onslaught. I was like, I'm pretty sure that was in Onslaught. Nope. I was wrong.
He was.
I go through a lot of Magic cards.
Okay, we actually have quite a few Confluxes, it looks like.
Really? Where's the number at?
I think you got to click it to get the number.
Oh, okay. View products.
Well, we have 2 different conditions, so.
Man. Yeah, I don't even...
Shocker, not many people are probably buying Confluxes.
Yeah, maybe not. All right, cool. That's awesome. We got both cards in stock. I never seen it coming.
If you buy both of these from momsbasementgames.tcgplayerpro.com, you could Conflux for your Hour of Devastation.
Hell yeah, you can. Cool Fizz would be all about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Richard, do me a favor. Tell me who the fuck's on top this week for Star City Games.
Yeah, so Dominic Harvey, third trophy this season. He's kind of just killing everything, honestly.
Do we just call him the Collector now?
Yeah, he's the new Zach Allen. So.
Who was Zach Allen before Zach Allen was? Richie Thompson. Kaibude.
Probably.
Kabuta.
Wasn't he like the original like pro that won like every single Grand Prix for like 20 years or something?
Yeah. So why is Mono Green Tron? Why is it's weak? What the fuck's going on? You're the Tron guy, and you haven't played Tron in a dick year.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. Oh, hold on, Cool Fizz first. Hey Josh, wanted your opinion. Someone just offered $65 for my Run-In 6, but I'd have to ship it out with tracking.
Opinion, huh?
Should he do it? Should he keep it?
65? I'd have to do math on that.
All right, while he does math, I'll talk about Tron some more.
Yeah, talk about Tron.
So, yeah, Tron is traditionally pretty good into graveyard decks. It used to always be good into Dredge. It's considered to have a pretty good Is It Phoenix matchup, but it can be close, especially post sideboard. And especially with the list we've seen doing well, I'm going to hop in here from this and the Pro Tour. You'll notice the big thing is they're not actually playing Karn the Great Creator anymore. And Dominic Harvey actually explained why on Twitter. And because at first I was kind of questioning, like, why not play Karn the Great Creator? It's a really powerful card, and tutoring is obviously very strong, being able to pull things out of your sideboard. But the reason Dominic Harvey explained that he decided to not play Karn the Great Creator and was actually really happy that he cut it is it really lets you, it really lets you tune your list, and it lets you open up your sideboard. Like, you really couldn't fit like 4 Ley Lines, these Nature's Claims, these Thrag Tusks, and especially Veil of Summers. You couldn't fit all of this into your sideboard back when you were playing Karn, because you need a better wish board. Well, when you take that out and you go back up on the numbers of Worm Coils in the main, you go ahead and put all the O-Stones back in the main, you can put your relic, extra relic back in the main. It really just lets you tighten up your main deck and also have a wide variety of cards on your sideboard.
Tighten up your main deck. I like that. Cool. So I want to ask you about this card right here.
Yeah.
Because I remember you telling me you got blown out by it one night.
Yeah.
And I actually got blown out by this online this past Friday. So tell us about Veil of Summer.
So I think the card's...
And read it, because maybe some people that they don't know.
Alright. 1 green instant. Draw a card if an opponent has cast a blue or black spell this turn. Spells you control can't be countered this turn. You and permanents you control gain hexproof from blue and black until end of turn.
Card does everything.
I would disagree with that statement.
Card doesn't do enough.
Card's fine.
Okay.
I don't really know if it's something... I'm interested to hear why he played it in his Tron sideboard. To me, I feel like I would rather have things like Thought-Knot Seers or just maybe some more like threats in the board. But I'm really interested to hear why he chose to play Veil of Summer. Maybe he felt the control matchup was a little worse than I feel it is. Okay. But
yeah,
I'm interested to hear and see.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he took the whole thing down, and he's jamming 3 of those things, not like a 1 of or a 2 of. Mm-hmm. So he felt like he needed to see that card this weekend. Cool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how lists go about it. That'll really tell if it was the correct choice or not.
So, do you think Tron is actually really well positioned right now, just because of the fact that Relic of Progenitus is such a strong card?
So I think there's a culmination of things. I think Relic is good. The other thing I think is Tron has a lot of answers to... Not many decks can deal with an 8/8. Tron can. You can Karn it. You can Ugin it. Mm-hmm. You can block with a Worm Coil engine. So there's plenty of ways to deal with Hogaak. And unlike when they were playing Altar of Dementia, this deck does fill up its graveyard, but it does get taxing to cast your Hogaaks, 2 to 3 times. So even just like blocking with a Worm Coil, you still get those tokens, and they're out their Hogaak. Okay. Like, they're not going to get anything other than those, 2 points of damage from behind it.
Yeah, yep. Okay, so in the top 8, there were 1, 2, 3, 4 copies of GAC.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, it's sprinkled into the top 32 here, so there's quite a few copies.
Yeah. Deck is very powerful.
Yeah, and it was really cool also to see what was the other deck that was cool in here? You said so the Gruul Phoenix. Now, what people are doing, this is very, very weird, right? Mm-hmm. So because Renin 6 is so popular right now, it looks like they may be trying to just jam this card in everything, right? Do you get that feeling here?
That is kind of what I get.
So Gruul, it was just a traditional Phoenix list, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just the mono red, And so what they did was they just splash green, where they played 3 copper lines and two stomping grounds. So, and then they played 3 Ren and 6 in the main board. So it's kind of a weird one, and it did take 13th place. So I'm very interested to see if Ren and 6 is at that power level, because right now we don't have enough data on it. So if it really is at that power level where you can just jam it in other decks, kind of like the Deathrite Shaman effect, because that's what people are calling this card. They're calling it Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah.
Power level. And so we saw what happened with Deathrite Shaman. It was just way too powerful, and it started taking over. But I don't think that this card takes over any formats.
I would agree.
I think it's gonna.
I think it's very strong in Legacy, and
I do too. I think it's great in Legacy.
May even be bannable in Legacy. We'll have to see depending on how strong it stays to be in the format.
Yeah, I just think it's a really solid, powerful card. It was kind of like when they came out with Dak Faden. I mean, you were just seeing Dak Faden all over the place. Very, very powerful cards.
Dak Faden didn't really fix your mana though.
No. All right, so tell us about the
more modern.
Yeah, more modern. So we got a couple locals in this one, right?
Oh, we can't let Terrence see.
Oh, who is it?
Delete it.
Oh God, 7th place was Merfolk.
Yeah, apparently.
Holy shit! I hope he's not watching.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
know Modern's fucked when Merfolk's good.
Yeah, if he's watching live right now, we're screwed because you're just gonna see a bunch of fish emojis pop up on the screen. I won't be able to concentrate.
Blub blub.
Let's look at this pile for all these Merfolk lovers out there.
Coral Helm Commander?
Whoa, 2 Fairy Conclaves in the main! Holy shit, I love it.
Is this like 2012 again?
Oh, it's beautiful. Merfolk Trickster, Silvergill, Master Pearl Trident, awesome. And then Coral Helm Commander, oh baby. And then this is the card that Terrence was loving, the Benthic Biomancer. It's so thick. With 2
No
Ks.
Curse Catchers.
No Curse Catchers, no. You just play this guy in that 1 slot instead. And look what else is in there. No Cavern of Souls.
That seems crazy to me.
Yeah, isn't that insane? No Cavern of Souls.
There's so much control decks.
Yeah, and you're running. Look at your mana base. You're running Mutavaults. You're running Fairy Conclaves, and then you've got the 4 redraw lands with the.
Which that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the Waterlogged and the Fiery. That's cool. And of course, this deck really gets a boost from Force of Negation.
Terrence was saying that card was really good.
Yeah, this card's great, man. I didn't think it was gonna be
Chalice of the Void in the sideboard too. Are we just playing Legacy?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like again, that's why I was like, that's so crazy that there's no, because I know that Chalices have to be in the sideboard. They need it, or else they just die to good decks.
Right.
But yeah, Force of Negation is really, really solid. I think it's gonna be, showing its face a lot more in Modern. I just didn't think that we would see as many Force of Negations out there. People were really disappointed with that card design when it first came out.
Yeah, it seemed pretty bad, but it's all right.
I like it.
It's really good for Modern.
Yes. All right, so then we got Modern. We got this was the Columbus
Classic.
The Classic.
The Modern Classic.
Yeah, so we got 4-color Urza took the top. Amulet Titan was in there. Humans, Mortron, Jund, Dredge, Merfolk. Unexpectedly, and Gruul Phoenix with again. Then
it's the same 75 that we just looked at.
Yeah, so that's really neat. Okay, let's move on to what is this? Standard. Oh baby,
Standard
now,
Classic.
The deck that you took 30th place with in the Classic, the Standard Classic in
Philadelphia.
Pittsburghia, Philadelphia. Philadelphia, PA, was Bant Scapeshift.
Deck's still killing it, even though everybody has it on their radar at this point.
Yeah, so again, one of those things where it's just like, hey, guess what? This deck is awesome. People are going to be hating it out, and it still takes first place.
Yeah, I was actually impressed. I thought about playing the deck in the Classic, but I was a little worried about hate. I thought that there might just be too many.
You should have just plowed through with that thing, man.
You know?
You just got to go for it. Now, is there anything in Chris Anderson's list that you see here that was kind of spicy or a little bit different?
Yeah, so the only really difference in the main deck is he has 2 time wipes where I had Prison Realms. I've seen this from a lot of people. I think it's fine, but it's also kind of greedy because it is a 5 mana, like it's a 5 mana board wipe as opposed to a 3 mana
Yeah, and like we
just
talked
removal
about
spell.
last week, is it allows you to keep your Hydroid Krasis and then keep on trucking, right?
Yeah. From the sideboard, it's pretty different than mine. It's fairly similar to what LSV played, except it's been adapting some of the tech we've been seeing for the mirror match. Like, there's the Ashiok, which is super strong in the mirror, and he has some different spot removal spells in like Baffling End and Root Snare.
3 of Veil of Summer, baby.
I had that in mind.
Whoop whoop. What about Baffling End? Did you play that in yours? You said no?
No. Mine had instead of the Baffling Ends, I had the Ajani's Welcome, so that way when I escape shift, I would just gain like a bunch of life.
Okay. To hedge against the mono red decks. Okay.
So instead of having like actual like hard removal, it had just that, which would be annoying for them. Also, just like completely break the game for them once I actually did that.
Yeah.
It also had a little more things for control, like I had an extra Dovin's Veto on the sideboard, for example.
Okay. So right now Standard's kind of looking very similar. You got your Elementals, you got your Jeskai Hero. I know. What is this? The Feather deck or no?
No, it's like Hero of Precinct 1.
Oh,
It's a control deck.
Okay.
Well, mid-range deck.
Yeah, I was thinking of Feather.
No.
You got your mono red aggro, Jund Dinosaurs, which is beautiful, and vampires, and of course more scape shifts. So if you're going to be playing Standard right now, if you're looking for a deck, the recommendation from us is going to be what?
I really recommend Bandscape Shift or Jund Dinos. I think are where I would be in Standard right now.
Or if you like to party and you like the vampires, I would say I'd be 100% on that. And
the vampires does have a really good Dino matchup.
Elementals looks pretty cool too.
I'm personally unimpressed with that deck.
It's doing pretty well though.
Yeah, it's just like too mid-rangey for me. It seems kind of hard to go over the top of a lot of things, but that could also just depend on the build.
Yeah. All right, so for Magic Fest Barcelona, that happened this past weekend, right? There was a Junding matchup. It was like a cockfight, but with Jund Magic cards.
Isn't that what a Jund player always does? They just like, my deck's more than yours, concede to me.
My deck is foil. You have to stop playing me right now. I win. So Trolls Monk. Look at that name. That's not even how you say it, but I'm going to say it. Trolls.
Not.
No, it's great. Beat Alberto Galicia Albert for the Jund Mirror in Magic Fest Barcelona.
Toupee23 wants to know if we've spotted any Restore Balance decks recently.
Hey, Toupee. No.
I cannot say I have.
No Restore Balance as of late. Maybe, I think we saw our local Andrew Riley. I think he was playing Restore Balance.
Restore Balance again?
Yes.
I know he plays like a different deck every week. Which is awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if and if that's you, Andrew. I don't know your Twitch name. You better stop trolling me. He's like, maybe he'll talk about me if I ask if he's seen any decks. But no, thanks. Thanks for coming in and saying hey. But yeah, the deck, Richie, looks very plain to me. I don't really see anything that I want to write home about here. Right?
One Raging Ravine is pretty surprising. I know for most Jund players, they say it's like one of the best lands in the deck.
I think so. Yeah.
That's actually something I was talking to Jocelyn about. I was talking to her a little bit between rounds.
Okay.
About like how she's liked the development of Jund, and one thing she said is she felt like people were cutting too many Raging Ravines.
Yeah. That's 24 lands still in the deck. That's been basic for Jund as far as I remember.
Yeah, when Written Insects first came out, people were trying like 22, 23, but it really seems like everyone's realizing like just because you play Written 6, it doesn't mean you can trim on lands.
No, you still have to hit your curve.
Yeah.
Like you And yeah, I don't know why the one Raging Ravine is in there. It's just that really kind of blows my mind.
Looks like they're playing like a Blooming Marsh in there that I think would typically be in that spot. Also seems like they're only playing 2 Blackleaf Cliffs and 1 Blood Crypt, which is interesting. They're really heavy on the fetches because you really want your fetches with Renin 6.
Yeah, you want to activate that and get those things going. Yeah, I like the fact that I'm seeing Plague Engineer in a lot of sideboards.
That card's really good. I've actually even been seeing some Junless main decking one.
Yeah, tell everybody about Plague Engineer.
Yeah, so Plague Engineer is a 1 black, 2 colorless, 2/2 Death Touch that when it enters the battlefield, you can choose a creature type, and creatures your opponents control of that type get -1/-1.
Yeah, so this card real good, and
I still can't believe that it's one-sided.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like I really think that card probably should have been like
a little less powerful.
Yeah. Well, just symmetrical. Like most effects you see like that, hit both players, not just one.
Correct, like Sulfur Elemental.
Sulfur Elemental.
That one I don't think is symmetrical.
There's Engineered Plague.
Yep. Yeah. So, what about Collector Oof? Oof, there it is.
It's just a Stony Silence you can play in Green Ducks.
I'm really happy they made this card.
Yeah.
I think this card's cool. Yeah, I think this card's really cool.
I wish they could print Noel Rod into Modern.
That wouldn't be very fair.
Why not?
Well, didn't they already print it? It's called Karn the Great Creator.
Well, I mean, sure, but it's double mana.
Sure. Very true.
Besides, Karn's one-sided. Like every fair thing.
Yeah, well, we've made it, about 10 minutes now? We haven't even said the word Hogaak. I think we should say the word Hogaak so that people have to drink.
Ho Daddy?
Ho Dad. I would be drunk if I was playing the drinking game right now for each time I said it. But yeah, so Mythic Championship Barcelona was this past weekend, and we tweeted out that, let's see, we could pull it up here. We tweeted out, said, come hang out with us today as we talk about the crazy numbers from the Pro Tour. So now we had to talk about the old Gacker because that was a big story. But
we'll get to there.
I'd say the bigger story is the fact that Tron won it all.
Yeah.
And Thor Severin.
Thorolf.
Well, we're just gonna call him Thor. Fuck the rest of his name because that is the most awesome name ever.
Pretty good.
I'm still gonna try to talk my wife into naming our firstborn Thor.
Good luck with that.
Yep, thank you.
She'll go for it. Probably not.
I don't think so. It's either gonna be Thor or like Jace. Maybe we can get Jace in there. No, don't think so.
I feel like she's gonna be the one that.
Maybe we just it's a regular name, but the middle name is Mind Sculptor.
Maybe. You might be able to squeeze that one.
I might be able to squeeze a middle name.
Don't you have to name your first kid like Monastery Swiftspear?
No, Goblin Guy.
Goblin Guy.
No, I don't think I'll be able to squeeze any magic names in my firstborn, but I'll try.
What about the secondborn?
Maybe. I don't know. She might soften up by then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Richie, tell us about this Tron list that won the Pro Tour this weekend, and tell us what you would change, because I'm not sure that I saw anything that was weird, but I don't play Tron, so...
Yeah, so it's pretty close to like what we've seen win the Open. He is on a second Ulamog. I've personally never been a big fan of 2 Ulamogs main. I've always felt like the second one was pretty overkill. But again, you see he's not playing the great creators in the deck because, again, you need your sideboard in this current meta. The One of All Is Dust is interesting to see that coming back. That was something I was an advocate of when you were really trying to prep for humans. But you've seen fall away for just maxing out on O-Stones when humans kind of fell off there for a little bit. But now with humans coming back, I really like doing the 3 O-Stone, 1 All Is Dust split. Interestingly enough, something you really don't see a lot, he actually trimmed a chromatic sphere for an extra relic of Progenitus.
Running 3 instead of 2.
Yeah. Well, 3 on the relics is what you meant.
Yeah.
Gotcha, yeah. Yeah, which I don't think I've ever seen or even thought about trimming. I normally trim one when I go to the sideboard, but it is really interesting to see him just straight up say, I'm fine. I don't want all 8 of these effects in my main deck.
Yeah. That's going to leave you a little bit more probably. Can you get in trouble playing against like Blood Moon by cutting one or not really?
You'll be fine. He has 5 forests in the deck, so
okay.
He is up a forest for most numbers. Interestingly, he is not playing. He is playing legitimately 0 Ghost Quarters in his deck. And he also isn't playing the card. It's been getting cut for a while, but I've always been a big fan of it, which is Urza's Factory.
Okay.
That's a land that taps for a colorless, and then for 7 mana and tapping it, you can make it 2/2. Obviously not good value, but pretty good with Tron being able to make a 2/2 every turn.
Yeah.
Instead, he's opting for just a buttload of forests, and he put a Blast Zone in the main, which...
That card's nuts.
I really like Blast Zone. I don't know if I would cut the factory for it, because I feel like that's kind of like the same slot, almost, kind of.
Yeah.
Sideboard-wise, interestingly enough, he only has 2 Artifact and Enchantment hate cards in 2 Nature's Claims.
Mm-hmm.
He only has 1 Veil of Summer, which I'm interested to hear why a 1-of. That card seems odd as a 1-of.
Because we saw 3 in the one that won it at the SCG.
He has a Spatial Contortion. Again, I've never been a fan of that card. I would just play 2 Warping Wells.
Yeah, Warping Wells is just significantly better, I think.
2 Dismember in the sideboard. Interesting. Oddly enough, he's not playing any Thought-Knot Seers, so maybe that's just like a meta call thing. 4 Leyline of the Void, which, as I said before, unfortunately due to Hogaak, is needed. 3 Thrag Tusks, which have always been good. And the Emrakul, the Promised End, which I normally move to the main over that second Ulamog, personally.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, the fact that we've been talking about the last few weeks with the banning of the Hogaak deck, that we thought, hey, you guys, this is going to be great. We can drop down our leyline count.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to run 6 or 7 effects. Well, the guy that won the Pro Tour said, fuck, no, you can't drop down. You need 7. And that was
really the showing of the whole weekend.
Yep, you need 7. And if you don't, well,
unfortunately, that means you might be off burn again in Modern for a while.
You might be right.
Because I don't think Tormods is enough again.
I might be running these. No, I don't think it is. I might be running the Boreal's Vengeance, and then that deck's just getting... I mean, I might as well take Goryo's Vengeance out at that point and just play it through the Breach deck.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either, but I can at least get him game 1 with it and then side it out.
And then side it out. There we go.
Yeah, so second place for the Mythic Championship this weekend was Hardened Scales.
What's really interesting about this deck, a lot of people said they're not sure how Affinity is positioned in Modern right now, but it was still able to take second.
Yeah. This is the newest version of Affinity, basically, and for all of those of you out there that love your Arcbound Ravengers and love your Walking Ballista combos, this is your deck, right? So don't be afraid to play that deck. Mm-hmm. Third place is not here. Oh, and they just put the wrong thing.
Well, no, it's third and fourth are the same thing.
Got it. So Eldrazi-tron, and then Jund. Then you have the old Hogaak by Martin Mueller, mm-hmm. He's a pretty good player. Some of these other names I don't know. So, and then you got Mono Red Phoenix in 8th place, which is really cool. I didn't expect to see the Mono Red version. I expected to see Blue Red.
I think Mono Red is very strong right now.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? Do you think Mono Red Phoenix is better than Blue Red? I feel like it's not.
I think the biggest reason to play this deck is you have a laughably good Hogaak matchup.
Okay.
Like, you destroy that deck.
Okay. So if you don't expect to see, 15 copies in the top 16 of Hogaak, then, you could play the blue-red version, right?
Possibly.
Cool. All right, so we always want to move on and let you guys know about the next upcoming events, if you guys are able to go to those.
What's going on?
Sing to me, baby. Sing to me. So we do have Vegas coming up, which I'm excited about, but that's not here quite yet.
You're going to be at Vegas, though,
I will be. I'm going to be in Vegas.
Staying at the Flamingo?
I'm going to be at the Flamingo. Yeah.
So if anybody, ever wants to hang out at a hotel with Josh, you can go to the Flamingo.
You come to the pool with me and Stefan, the German man.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a good time. But so this coming next event is Chiba, and that's limited, and so we won't have anything to talk about next week. It's on the limited side.
We have plenty to talk about next week.
Well, for events that happen.
Oh yeah.
Because what SCG is next week?
Yep.
Yep, exactly. So
me at my house with my pillow. I'm joking. I'm gonna be at an IQ because I want to try to get points.
Yes, you are gonna be at an IQ because you're gonna be winning that thing.
Hopefully.
So I'm 100% because I know you're gonna take Tron with you, and you are just gonna destroy everybody.
We'll see.
Spoiler. So then we've got Minneapolis. So Minneapolis is August 9th from Magic Fest. So if you guys are in that 500-mile radius of, that's kind of like where I like to travel.
Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota. It's Minnesota.
Minnesota.
So, yeah, go check out Minneapolis. If you get a chance, you could play some Modern. You can fight the GAC all by yourself, all by your lonesome, or you can just GAC people to death, right?
GAC or get GAC?
Man, we got to start making memes, man. GAC or get GAC.
I am a meme.
Yes. So that's it for upcoming events. Now we're gonna go over again. Get your drink ready because we're gonna talk about Martin Mueller's.
We got the horses in the GAC.
The horses in the GAC, not in the back. Yeah, you're right. So we got Martin Mueller's list pulled up here, and we want to talk about this just for a second here. We don't want to kill you with the old Gagster, but
kill him with kindness.
Yeah, kill him with the Gakness. So now the new card that is in the Hogaak list, it is pretty cool. I talked to the owner of Hot Sauce Games when we were in Philadelphia.
Is he buying up Seder Wayfinders?
No. He asked me, he said, Josh, what do you do when somebody, he said the whole entire weekend, people have been coming up to me saying, hey, can I get Seder Wayfinder? And I don't know what to tell them. Because this card, and I told him, I said, yeah, he knows that, we do we pick a lot of bulk. We go through, thousands of cards a week, tens of thousands of cards a week.
Do we pick Seder Wayfinders?
We do not. See, you've started picking, and you're not even 100% sure if you pick this card. Richie, you do not pick this card. So that's why.
Do we pick it now?
I don't think so. Now, this is a weird one. I put some of them in backstock, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so here at the basement, we've got what we do is we pick things that are relevant, and then things that are also relevant, not relevant, like Mr. Seder Wayfinder. He gets to put in backstock, and so this is a very weird one because if you're gonna go somewhere, the only way that you would be able to find one of these is if it's foil, right? You would think. Well, okay, I'll just buy the foil copies because they probably brought them with them. Mm-hmm. That's not true either because this is a sub $3 foil. So if you're going to an event and you do not find your Seder Wayfinders before you get there, yeah, good fucking luck because you will not find them when you get there.
Better have the Wayfinders in the bag.
Yeah, you'd have to call me / message me a week beforehand and say, Josh, will you please bring me some Seder Wayfinders? And you'd have to call in a favor because I got to go into the back stock, and that's not a great use of my time. So, but a lot of local stores most likely will stock this card, but you may see him be out of stock soon. So who knows? Maybe if that starts,
or they might increase the price on them.
Yeah, if he gets driven up, then
might have to pay 2 apiece on your Seder Wayfinders.
Oh Jesus, no, I hope not. But yeah, so Seder Wayfinder is found its way into the Hogaak deck as a 4 of. And then, of course, Martin Mueller was running in the sideboard. He was running Engineered Explosives, Fatal Push, Nature's Claim, Thoughtseize. And I asked Richie about this. I said, Richie, what are they Thoughtseizing? What is it actually like? They're just they're combo deck. They're going to kill you basically before they can even do anything, before they can combo. And he said it's for those really faster decks that are faster.
Neoform.
Yes.
Boreos.
Yes, Neoform. Goryo's Vengeance, something like that can actually kill you before you get
Cheerios.
Yeah, Cheerios. That's another one too, and that's what the Fatal Pushes are for. Things like that. that are bothersome.
Yeah, you're not bringing Fatal Push in against like Affinity, for example.
No, and you had the same in the Assassin's Trophy. Those are great across the board because those deal with your ley lines and those deal with your Rest in Pieces and then your other troublesome creatures like the Cheerios deck and stuff like that. He played a one of Shenanigans, which
Now that's just Shenanigans.
I'm very impressed with this card. Yes, Richie, thank you. That is Shenanigans. I've went up to 2 in my sideboard of this card of the Boreos deck, and you just can't beat an Ensnaring Bridge, man. You just can't. Like, if somebody lands an Ensnaring Bridge on you, you are in trouble. So,
yeah, it's very similar.
Yes, and this, that being able to dredge 1, it's a pretty cool effect. I haven't got to do it yet, but I'm excited to do it. And then I think the story of the weekend for sideboarding is old Mr. Dinosaur Pants here. Yep, zombie dinosaur man himself. He's a 7/6 rotting Regisaur. He made it as a 2 of in the sideboard. And so basically what he is he's just Tarmogoyf. Hogaak's Tarmogoyf.
He kills Tarmogoyf.
He pees on Tarmogoyf after he eats him a little bit. So, yeah.
I don't think we can talk about that on the podcast. That might be too graphic.
Leyline of the Void. We've already got the graphic button hit, so don't worry. I think you got to be 18 or older to get into this podcast.
Do you just have to click a button, or do you actually have to be 18 or older?
Fucking, I have no clue. I was making that shit up. I don't know. Oh man. So we got the other. What is it? Oh, the metagame here.
Here, pull that up though. There were some things on this I wanted to show them too.
Oh yeah, sure.
I was gonna show them.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna pop into our messages, and I sent Josh a couple pictures because he mentioned he wanted to talk about this on Twitter today. So day 1, Hogaak was the #1 archetype with 98 players at a percentage of the meta at 21.4%. That is double the next deck.
Yeah, so 98 pros said, I'm gonna play this deck because it is broken.
We're going to give them the gag.
Yeah, this deck's broken and we want to play it. And so 98 players played this, and that is really nuts.
Then on day 2, Hogaak went from 21.4% of the meta to 24.2% of the meta. It actually went up in percentages moving into the day.
Yeah, and so
like you see that with Is It Phoenix, and you see that with Eldrazi Tron. But as you see, these are fractions compared to what Hogaak did. And then, once you get to some of the smaller decks, like Burn, going from 3.9 to 4.2.
4.2, baby.
You see that, but no other deck really does that besides for, the decks that maybe had, 3 players on them, and one of them made day 2 or something along those lines.
Sure.
But for it to go up 3% when it was already the most popular deck means a lot of players did well with it. Which, when we switch over here, we can see this. So this is of the whole entire weekend. Hogaak, with 98 players, had a 56.2% win rate.
That's really good.
That's absurd.
Yes.
That is higher than what Twin was, if I remember right.
Yeah, it was higher than... I think that's even higher than the Jun percentage when Deathrite got banned.
I would believe it.
I think Deathrite was at 50... I don't know, maybe Deathrite was at 57%. Or 58%, but anyways, it's still a really high percentage, and those are very wild numbers.
So what this means is essentially, out of 98 players, over half of them did well. The only deck that we see having a better number actually is Hogaak Dredge, which only had 7 players with a 60.4% win rate.
Look at that win rate. That's crazy, man.
Next, the only other ones that are even above 40s are Is It Phoenix with a 50.8 at 48 players.
Yeah.
Eldrazi Tron at 42 with a 50.4. Jund with a 52.3% win rate at 36 players. Urza Thopter Sword at 55.3 with 19. And Mono Red Phoenix with 10 players at 52%.
Got it, yeah.
So, but the big thing is, the reason why this is absurd is what that percentage actually means with the number of players that were on this deck. That is a scary big number for how many players were on that deck.
Yeah. It just goes to show you the power level of the deck, and like we said earlier, If you thought you could come off of the your graveyard hate, not yet. Hold fast. And that's something else that we felt like we wanted to talk about is, maybe it's possible to see another banning for this deck because you really can't. And now I don't want to be on. I never ever ever want to be on a ban train, and I feel like I don't even like talking about like just because a deck does well, that's the Magic community is to say like, well, that they're gonna have to ban something in that deck. It's always the next topic when something does really well. But when you see
There's
numbers, correct? That's what I'm trying to say right now is that when you see numbers, when you see a really high percentage into the usually I want to say it's above 55% win rate when you get into the 56% and then you start to breach into that percentage where it's a problem because when people know that you have an extra 6 to 7 even 8%, they're going to gravitate towards that deck because that means that you're going to get more wins and you're going to do better. And so then that's when you start to get into a format that begins to warp. And so when you have a warped format, you have those numbers that where you're seeing, 4 or 6 copies of every top 8 that whether it's SCG or whether it's a Magic Fest or whether it's a goddamn IQ, like a local IQ,
Mm-hmm.
You're starting to see all this data come up to say, okay, well, there's an issue here. Yeah. And again, I don't want to sit here and talk about this every week about, oh, the card needs to get banned because, like, you're going to continue to hear that. And it gets really, really, and like, just off-putting and annoying. But
sometimes you got to pound it into Wizard's head.
Yeah, I mean, correct. It needs to be talked about. But, when you break the numbers down to the percentages and who's playing it, and you actually have data, then you can say, okay, hey, this actually probably does need another ban. And so
something I just want to address really quick before we move on to finance. I've heard a lot of like talking on Twitter of, and even at the event when people were talking about the top 8, they're like, oh well, how only one copy of Hogaak made top 8, and Tron won both, and nobody's complaining about that deck. Well, if you flip back over, Tron had under a 50% win rate, even though it won the Pro Tour. And sure.
Tron had under a 50%.
Yeah, it had a 49.3% win rate.
Correct, yeah.
And on top of that, like, sure, only one copy of Hogaak made top 8, but top 8 wasn't all about Modern. When you look at the Open and see 4 copies, that was all 15 rounds of Modern. Yeah. Only I think 8 rounds of the Mythic Championship were Modern, if I remember right.
Okay.
Or something along those lines. So there were less rounds of Modern in the Pro Tour than there was in the day 1 of the SCG.
Got it.
So just saying, only one copy made the top 8 of a Pro Tour. A Pro Tour half the time isn't even like you should look at the results, but they're not necessarily the fine. Like when you see data like this is what it actually means. Yeah, exactly. So this isn't taking the limited portion into effect.
Yeah.
This is taking only Modern, and you can really see the true numbers of the format.
Well, the last Pro Tour humans won, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you had 38 players playing humans with a 48.1% win rate, and you didn't see any in the top 8.
Affinity was the second place deck. I don't even see traditional Affinity on this list.
Yep. So, pretty cool stuff. And one of our top selling cards that I didn't even know it was a top seller. It was the Gagster, man. Mm-hmm. When we went on here, so that was
also
pretty cool.
Brought back a card. We had, I think, second on our top 10 cards from M20.
Oh yeah, brought back. That was one of your shiners, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that card's really cool. I like it. Yeah, so we'll get into finance, and again, we'll try to do our best.
20,000%.
We'll try our best not to talk about
It's over 9,000.
So, this week, do I even have to acknowledge this?
I mean, you don't have to, but okay. It's hilarious.
Volcanic Dragon, I will, I guess. Volcanic Dragon from M20.
Dude, this card's so broken. It's the next Hogaak.
This card's so bad. It's a 6-drop. Um, it's volcanic. Its creature type is dragon. It's an uncommon. It is. It's the number one spike this week. I just think sometimes this guy just doesn't have anything to talk about.
He's like, I'm out of ideas.
I would just rather sit here and talk about, even if nobody watches us, Richie. If there's like 3 people or 4 people that watch us a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would just rather sit here and talk about. I'd rather spend more time on what we did this past weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So. But yeah,
then feed them lies.
Yes, then feed them like bullshit content.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like it's up 19,000%. This volcanic dragon, and it's because it's in a welcome deck. It was like that thing that happened with Land War Elves, like
or those 2 cards we talked about last
year.
Week.
Yeah, it's so silly, man. It's just like I don't know why this guy does this, but you just went off on the 19,000%. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta tell him. Because everybody that's listening,
so stupid.
That's not watching on YouTube or
don't
Twitch.
buy that card for $4. If you do, no offense, I love you, keep viewing, but you're an idiot.
That's always the best thing to do is call your watchers idiots. They love it.
I mean, sometimes they have to hear the truth, you know.
The truth does hurt, you know.
Just like Josh telling me that I'm fired.
You're fired, Richie. So Dream Chisel is the number 2 that they put for this week. And
have you ever heard of this card before, Josh?
I actually, I pulled some out of the bulk like a few weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was probably one of those
I
stand-ins.
did not know, like, just like last week's card for the flashback thing, I didn't know that this was a card.
Really?
Yeah.
Dream Chisel.
We ain't got none.
No, we gotta have
My
some.
Anaconda don't got none unless Mom's Basement has some.
Dream Chisel. I love looking these cards up to see if we. I'm telling we gotta have some. I lied. We must. Or you know what? The spike probably happened. They probably got sold.
Oh.
We probably had them in there for like $1.
Oh, okay.
Because why would we have them in anything more than that?
Mm.
This card's not good. So Dream Chisel is a card that it's an artifact from Onslaught. That is a 2-drop, and it says face down creature spells you play cost 1 less to play. Okay, so I guess the little spike here is just
makes your little morphers cost
your morphers
2
cost
instead of 3.
Yeah, so get them while you
Mighty
can.
Morphin Power Rangers.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now
this is a spike.
Yes, this is the card that you and I are actually excited to talk about.
I did think it was going to be a different card that spiked, but I understand why it's this one.
Yeah, Field of Dead. I mean, I think this card should probably be higher than this, right?
Maybe by like $1 or $2, but
think like it's a $5 card. I mean, think about the buddy land. The buddy lands are like 5s.
Yeah, but this is inherently like it's not a great land. Like it's not like it doesn't go into like every deck of those colors.
Yes. So Field of Dead from M20 is the card that we're talking about, and this is the card, of course, that Richie took 30th with in Pittsburgh, Adelphia. A few weeks ago, and
Dinkelberg.
This is God, what LSV? I always forget his name. I don't know.
LSD.
Why. Yeah, and he's just an acronym. He's not. I don't even have to say his full name. Louis Scott Vargas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he took this and won a whole event with this card, and so yeah, of course it's gonna spike, right? So it's only at $3 right now. So Richie doesn't think it's going to go up. I think it might go up a little bit higher than this. So if you're interested in playing this deck...
I think the card that's going to go up from this deck is still Scape Shift.
Well, yeah, so do I. We talked about that last week. I think Scape Shift's going to go up. But yeah, this deck's really cool. So, again, we always talk about the winners and the losers. And so the cheap pickups they're talking about this week is Tarmogoyf. Now, I'm not 100% this is... I guess it's true, but...
I still need you to pick up my Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, so I had a really hard time finding Tarmogoyfs in Pittsburgh, Adelphia, because people are buying them up because Ren 6 and Legacy is starting to really pick up.
And Jund.
Yes, and Jund in Modern is really picking up.
Hopefully you can find me some at GenCon this weekend before they spike.
Yeah, they're not going to spike, but they'll continue to move up a little bit, but... We no longer will have the issue of like, oh man, my Tarmogoyfs aren't worth dog shit. Mm-hmm. I think they'll start to steadily increase, maybe back up to $60 or $65, I believe.
You don't think we'll ever see the mighty $100 Tarmogoyf again?
No. Those days are gone. And then you've also got.
Gone.
I'm sorry. I would love you to sing. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Nope, you're fine. I feel like crap. I probably shouldn't be singing anyways.
Noble Hierarch, they're saying, is at a record low, which is not really that true. But it's at $42. So, I mean, you're going to pay $40 for a Noble.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember when you had to pay $60 for a Noble.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the rule. Like, if you go and you're like, oh, I need to pick up Nobles because I want to play humans, or I'm a sadist and I want to play Knight of the Reliquary in Legacy. What's that deck called? Maverick. You know, if you're a sadist, then you know you're gonna be like, oh, of course I gotta pay $40 for my Nobles because that's what they are. So no clue why this is on here.
Hierarch into the Run and 6 format.
Yeah. And then of course you got Entomb.
God, this card's so low right now, Josh.
Yes, it's at $16. So again, there's some really weird things going on with this guy's pickups. I would say, you know, some cards that we talked about throughout the podcast, like, you know,
Hogaak.
Yes, pick up your Veil of Summers. You know, those things are probably
your Satyr Wayfinders.
Yes, go and, you know, please don't ask me, or if you have to, you know, send in a favor from me to look in the back stock, and I'll get your Satyr Wayfinders for you. But yeah, find cards like that, you know, and do yourself a favor and just, if you're gonna do finance and you're gonna be switching decks in, you know, Standard, Modern, Legacy, you know, make sure you do yourself a favor and just keep an eye on stuff. You know, when it does well at a pro tour, try to get it before it pops. You know, it's just the way you got to be. You know,
the way the cookie crumbles.
Yes, when you switch decks. If you don't switch decks a lot, if you're like me, you build a deck once every 4 years, then you don't really have to worry about anything.
Is that what it is, really? Is it like 4 years?
I think it's been over 4 years that I finally finished that Boreos deck, yeah. So.
How long till you get rid of that one?
I mean, well, I did build dinosaurs in Legacy, you know, but that was to help, you know, get us going on social media.
That was a meme.
Yes, so I memed out, but I don't.
And it worked out because you needed some of those cards for Boreos, anyways.
I did. I needed it through the breaches, and then I think I put them back into stock on
accident. And then you had to go buy some more from the store.
Yeah, so I gave Richie. I had the dinosaur deck. I'm like, all right, I'm done with this meme. Put this thing right back into inventory, and I gave him the Through the Breaches, and they disappeared. And I was like, Richie, where are those Through the Breaches at? Didn't I leave them on the table over here? He's like, I haven't seen them. I don't know. And I'm like, shit, I must have put them back into the system, and they were already gone. I checked, and they were sold. And I was like, well. All right, guess I gotta go buy more Through the Breaches, but it's cool. They're only like what, $10-15 right now. They're cheap.
They're cheap.
Yeah. So.
You know who's not cheap though? You.
I'm not cheap. You're right. Yeah. So follow me on Mom's Basement Games.
No, Mom's
I said
Basement
it right.
MTG.
Yeah. There's so many platforms. Follow us on Twitter. We're at 299 followers right now, which is pretty excellent. I think I actually had over 300. A few weeks ago when I was looking, or last week, and it looks like some people unfollowed me.
But, I don't blame them.
You know, I do spam a little bit on here, but it's in a good way. When somebody follows us on Twitch, I set it up so that it says, hey, thanks for following me on Twitch, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's fucking awesome. Some people, you know, might say, well, or whenever we're streaming, it sends out a link that says, hey, we're streaming. Those are important things that people need to know about that are following us. You know, even if it is, you know, once every day, but hey, sorry that we stream every day and we're awesome, right? So we got our followers on here, so it's very cool. Again, we send out things like we had Super Friends Week. We just finished that up a few days ago, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So most of those videos will premiere next week.
I still want to get you to play that deck again.
Yeah. Updated list. Yeah, I played this. I think we talked about it last week on the podcast, right?
We did.
Yeah, we played the Teamer Walkers deck.
Except we made it Izzet.
We did. We made it Izzet, and it was a lot of fun. I actually I screenshotted. This guy said, "Oh, I guess because I put in Snaring Bridges and Blood Moons in the side." Mm-hmm. And so the guy's like, "Yeah, I guess you could play Blood Moon." And this was in the Moto chat. I guess you could play Blood Moon and Ensnaring Bridge and plus any other cards, and that's just a me deck. And I was just like, oh no. There's a lot of salt from one of my opponents. And he just scooped. And I was like, I'm sorry. Like it was a lot of fun, man. I love theme weeks. I'm very happy that we do them.
Do we know what our next theme is yet?
We do. I think we do. Not off the top of my head, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but we'll have it done by tomorrow. Theme week will be done because it's already the 29th, so we gotta have that. We gotta have that stuff ready for next week, yeah, to get sent out.
What do we know what our giveaway is next month yet?
No, I don't think so. But we are giving away.
Maybe we can give away a counterspell.
We are giving away the old Guilds of Ravnica box. So if you guys are watching us on in future, you're not going to be able to win this.
No.
No, like if you're new, because it'll be past the first. But we're probably going to be giving away another box next month. I think basically we're just going to be doing a box-esque giveaway every single month because we have a bunch of boxes to give away.
No cool giveaways coming up anytime soon.
Well, we can do anything we want. I just gave away a Sliver Queen.
Yeah, you did.
Maybe we give away Tarmogoyfs.
We already did that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so also
maybe we give away some cards.
The Great Creator?
No, Liberated.
Yeah, we could do that. I wouldn't be bad about that. So follow Richie.
Yeah, that's me.
Richie, let me tell these people about you. So Richie did a giveaway this past 2 weeks ago?
I think it was close to a month ago now.
Oh shit, okay. And he's got 374 followers now. That is very neat. I would say by what is this? This is episode 9. I'd give us another 20 episodes. And I think, we're going to be in that 500 range.
Maybe, we'll see. I've been losing a couple here and there, but...
Well, yeah, because of the giveaway.
Yeah.
But that's all right. People just, they'll jump in there. But yeah, Richie, he had some pictures on his Twitter from this weekend, just hanging out at the bar, kicking it, playing Tron the video game. And he had to make sure that he took a picture of that. I actually sent you a picture of this, didn't I? When I was in Indy, of Tron the video game, so... Yeah, give Richie a follow too. Don't forget, and you guys can always catch us live here on Twitch every Monday at 5:30, and you guys can catch the replay on Mom's Basement Games YouTube. So, do yourself a favor, go and give us a follow on Twitch or give us a follow on YouTube, and you guys are entered to win our giveaway.
That follow.
Yeah.
And they can earn extra giveaways, can't they?
They can.
Or extra entries, not extra giveaways.
Yeah, and extra entries, and all they got to do is just go support us on Patreon. That's our third way of getting in there. We got a lot of cool stuff on our Patreon, and yeah, we haven't had anybody do it yet, but I can see it coming now. I see the future. Patreon.
Well, wait, I thought we had a Patreon.
Oh, we did. No, that's what I'm saying. We got some really cool stuff. We got some cool things that you can do for donating. We got shout outs that we do on the podcast. Give away foils if you're a $5 a month subscriber. I think that was pretty cool. There's just different tiers. We could help provide sideboard guides. And then, of course, the podcast influence one. That's pretty neat. And we've got our content creation. And also, at your request. So, if you request us to play a deck, we'll play your deck.
Yeah.
Basically, all you're doing is covering the cost of us going in there and taking the time to make the deck, and then also paying for the league, and then a couple bucks extra to keep the thing going.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat. I really like the new tier. Abe made that.
I enjoy it.
And yeah,
I think he's doing a good job.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job. We got one Patreon right now,
Killing
baby.
it.
Hey, that's one more than we had ever. One more than we had ever. That's the dumbest thing I've said all week.
You're getting tired. Maybe we should end it so you can go to bed.
That's true. All right, you guys. Appreciate you guys stopping by this week, and we will see you next week.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
I like it. We got to come up with some catchphrase.
We do. Like, fuck you, Josh.
Fuck you, Richie. Signing off. What about that?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Good?